guys, we have a weak yen possibility today, and also a weak Kiwi, weak Aussie. What is interesting that these are risky currencies, and yet yen is the safe haven. So there's a little bit of a mixed sort of sentiment going on right now. Euro hasn't moved, gold hasn't moved, dollar has moved towards a buy, and so is the Swiss franc and the CAD. Pound is mixed, and the dollar's mixed, because we want to be looking at that quadrant down there, and we want to be looking at this quadrant up there. So let's have a look at some yen pairs on the search tool. So dollar yen is quite mixed. Euro yen is actually quite strong, so we'll have a look at that on the technicals. Pound yen, likewise. CAD yen. See, CAD yen, we had the signal to buy this, but what you could use the search tool for is to check your pivot. So we are at 91.23, right, that's the current bid. If you wait for the weekly pivot to break, then you know that could be your stop loss. Alright, and if you have a tight stop loss, you can have a good risk to reward. So what you could do is wait for that to break, price will probably come down and test the weekly pivot, and then you'd want to buy it. Okay, so you can use these pivots for your stop losses and entries. The bulls are making a bit of profit, so do be careful. That'll be unusual for them to be profiting. So yeah, you've got to be a little bit careful. Normally, price comes down to punish them when they're making money, and that's just the way it is. It's really horrible. So let's have a look at the SLCs. EJ. So we know that the Euro hasn't moved on the axis, but yen has. So this could potentially go up, especially if the Euro gravitates over here. All right, if it does, then it's EJ up. Let's go back. So EJ is, well, the SLC is at ADR high at 131 and 129.74. They sold it slightly, didn't they? You want to be looking at that average line. Yeah, well, actually, it looks quite dramatic, doesn't it? They sold it there, here. I guess they probably thought it was going to continue to, and then they left it, and of course we added 75 pips. So, and we're going to potentially be back within that sandwich again, and it'll just be really frustrating. So that's EJ. Look at AJ. Don't want to make it a too long video today. So AJ is not looking as good. Monthly pivots here. Let's take these guys off again. And they sold it, but then they didn't quite sell it as heavily as they did at EJ. One above, 82.61, and a stop loss cluster below, 82 on the dot. Pound yen. And we'll do dollar yen. And then we'll quickly do some dollar crosses. That line there obviously held. You would have seen my video, and so we did. And how did we do? 55 pips off that level. One above is, oh come on, 156.99. Well, 157 we'll say. Yeah. One below is 156.02, which corresponds to that, that turncoat resistance, and then of course it was a support. And potentially, like EJ, we're going to be in this sandwich again, and that's going to be very choppy, so could be quite an annoying day. CAD yen, I can't show the stop loss clusters for those, same with ditto of Kiwi yen. So there's your monthly pivot, 77.89. CAD yen's monthly pivot's down there, so I mean, we're technically bullish. Okay, so look at AU, and I was looking at just now. I was doing the stop loss clusters, look fairly heavy. One above 72.60. The one below is humongous at 71.89. I think because of the size, it's possibly going to be likely. Remember, we are a buy above monthly pivot, so it could take that stop loss cluster and still remain a buy technically. Sentimentally, we're a sell, and they went long there. So that's probably a very tricky price action there that got them a bit confused. Perhaps they were looking left for supports. It's hard to say. Dollar Swiss, I guess. and then I'll just do those three and I'll wrap up the video. Dollar Swiss monthly pivots there. SLC above 91.61. One below is 90.79. We are a sell, but we have been for ages. So that's that. They went long here, and they actually crossed the 50% line there at MR1. So you know you could have entered with a stop loss at MR1, and your risk to reward would have been absolutely fantastic on that trade. If you kept it tight, you know your R would have been amazing. So that's that. Pound USD. I think this was in the process of getting stops. MR1, so you want to keep an eye on 13674. SLC above is 13750, one below is 13650. So yeah, but we're above monthly pivot, we were buy on the sentiment, and it's sideways on the dynamic. So in a way you'd want this to come up and we'll just shake the people out so it can fall. But we've currently got MR1 support. Yeah, we've got 3 pips just above that support. It's resistance and support level. So keep an eye on that, very important. EU. And then that's the last one. So I think we're going to get that one above 114.25. 113.95, and they went long, so it's a little bit naughty that it's going up. It really should be falling. So this, I think, is maybe just a stop hunt here. Let's have a look at that average line. I think this is a stop hunt, and it's going to fall. See, they went long, so that's fine. They got punished. Up, 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 and that moved there. So what we're talking about? Yeah, so maybe that's pretty much just at their break even. Yeah, they went long there, so it fell, which would be normal because they went long, but then of course it came back up. So it all depends if that happens here on this little bit. If it comes down, it will come up and get that stop loss cluster, and we could even rally because we'll be above MR1. But if it goes up, then we'll come down and get that stop loss cluster below. So definitely worth getting the SSL indicators from FX SSI. I know I always say it, but you know, if you've got this on your screen, you know it's going to be really, really, really powerful. So you get the Pro using the QuasiDB code, which you know about already probably, and then once you've done that and you click subscribe, and you've got access to the MT4 downloads and the sentiment indicators, and you want to get the stop loss clusters. And this is amazing because you can see where they have their stops, and so you target where they exit. So it's really cruel, but then that's what the banks probably do anyway. They've got visibility of our stops, and so they target our stops. So why don't we turn it? You know, why don't we do the reverse of what retail traders do? You know, so hopefully it helps. Not a long video today, and I'll be back later. Keep an eye on maybe this yen and maybe this dollar. Currently it's a dollar yen long, and now the Kiwi is weakest. See how it changed? Because this spreadsheet updates every 15 minutes, it's a little bit more active now. So now the Kiwi is weakest. So, you know, Kiwi CAD could be a good trade. Kiwi CAD short. So that's that. Have a good day, and I'll speak to you later.